Okay, so here we are with the first finger fitness exercise, and I'm going to take you through this step by step. I'm just going to play it for you first and then talk you through it note by note. This first baseline is really simple, but really going to help to promote the finger independence between the different fingers and going to get you using every single one of your fingers, including the little finger, which is often a problem finger for a lot of players to use. Starting out, you may find that this exercise is quite difficult to actually perform, but it's fairly simple to learn because of how simple the actual line is. It just follows one fret after the other, as you'll see in a moment. So I'm just going to play it for you now, and then we'll talk through it step by step. So we're going to start off on the 5th fret, just to give you an idea of where I'm in the bass, and it goes like this. Okay, so starting on the 5th fret of the E string, the thickest string on your bass, you're going to fret with your index finger, your pointer finger. Then you're going to move down a fret to the 6th, and you're going to play with your middle finger. Then you move down another fret and play with your ring finger. And then you're going to move down to the 8th fret and play with your little finger. So each time you're moving down a fret, you're moving down a finger as well. You also want to make sure that you leave your fingers behind, as it would be, as you move down. So when you play from 1 to 2, you leave 1 where it is. Then you leave that where it is and play the next one down, and then you play the next one down. So you see I'm leaving my fingers, I'm not doing this and then lifting that one off and playing that one and then lifting that one off and playing that one. I'm leaving the fingers behind, as it would be. So it goes like this. Okay. Now if you're finding this really tricky to start with, then what you can do is, I'm already playing at the 5th fret rather than further up where the frets are spaced further apart. But just bring it down the fretboard. So for example, you could start here on the 9th fret and play it from there where the frets are spaced closer together if you find that more difficult. Or you can always come even further up the fretboard if you need to, where the frets are really close together. But I'd recommend starting kind of around the 5th fret area, or maybe like the 7th or the 9th if you need to. But I'm going to do all of the exercises in this course based around the 5th fret, and then it's up to you if you want to make it slightly easier, move it down, and also later on, once you've got really comfortable with this exercise in the 5th position, you can move up to the 3rd and then up to starting on the 1st fret, where the frets are really spaced out. Okay, so that's basically it for the first exercise. It really is that simple. So you're going to pick it up really quickly because it's just one note after the other moving down. You're just going to repeat it on all 4 strings. Okay, just going 5, 6, 7, 8 on all of the strings. But we're going to say leave the fingers behind and use all of the fingers independently. The other thing you can do is that once you've got used to playing it going down, you can go back up again afterwards, and that will sound something like this. Okay, again, you can also play this really slowly to start with. I'm playing it at kind of a moderate tempo, but you can just start off really slowly. It's also, if you're starting to get fret buzz, another tip is to play slightly behind the fret, as it would be. So these are the fret wires here. You want to play slightly behind it, not on top of it. That can be another cause for fret buzz. And then, so you want to keep your thumb in the middle of the fretboard, kind of in between your pointer finger and your middle finger, in that kind of position here. So it's like here if I was to poke it up, but it's kind of in the middle of the fretboard. That's just some technique tips there for you to try and help stop fret buzz. As another thing that can be causing it is by fretting over the fret wire and things like that. You also want to make sure that you press with enough pressure to sound the note, but not too much pressure to cause unnecessary strain on your fingers. These tips obviously go for all of the exercises in this video series and course. So take your time and spend a few minutes just running through this exercise, and to start with, maybe just try it on the top string. So just nice and slowly. Just run through it using all the different fingers. And you want to try and leave the fingers behind if you can. If you can't leave the fingers behind, then to start with, just lift them off slightly, but don't stick them right out, just float them just above the strings like I am here. These are actually lifting off, but they're really close. And then eventually when I leave them on, and that will give you a nice stretch as well, because the fingers are having to stay in position and also press the wire. Okay, so give that a go. Say you can use these at the start of your practice each day, and I highly recommend that you actually take the time to try this exercise out and spend a few minutes doing it today before moving on to the next video, the next exercise. If you want to just watch them all through first of all, that's fine, but I don't recommend that you kind of jump around. Just take these step by step, and they're actually going to become kind of progressively harder as we move through the DVD. So if you can't do this one yet, stick with it for a while, even if it takes you a week or two of doing it a few minutes each day to totally perfect, and then move on to the future exercises. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we're going to now move on to the next exercise.